Nini, and happy days on the year. Today is July 14th, 2015, and it is the Birth of Horus, according to the Kemetic calendar that I use and that a group of us are using. And by request, I am doing a video of a ritual. We're going to start with what's actually the ritual for the last day of the year, which is called the Day of Mozit. Just a little bit of background. Scholars aren't really sure what Mozit means. It sounds kind of like the word for birth or born of, but in this case the word is something different. They're not sure exactly what it means, but it is the last day of the year. It is when the sun goes down. Ra is setting for the last time in the year, and so it's associated with death and closure. And what was traditionally done is people would make offerings to the blessed dead, especially in a family. The oldest child would, offer for their parents if they were deceased, and so on. And then you had the 5 days on the year, which were the birth of Osiris, which was yesterday, birth of Horus, which is today, birth of Set, which is tomorrow, then the birth of Isis, then the birth of Nephthys. The next day after that is Egyptian New Year, which is the birth of Ra. And so we are in that transition period right now. So first we're going to recap the offerings for Mozit, and then we're going to honor Horus since it's his birthday. So begin with cleansing. These cool waters are upon my hands. They purify me, as Tefnut purifies me. Hail unto you, O Natural. I come unto you without falsehood and without evil. My purity is upon my hands, my purity is upon my heart, for I have cast out all evil that pertains to me. Iwabkua, I am pure. Iwabkua, Iwabkua, Iwabkua. And now we're going to light the first candle, and someone was kind enough to point out if you leave jar candles going too long, they can blow up. So this one we're not going to leave going all night, but I do have a battery operated one that I can. Come in peace, bright eye of Horus. Come in peace. At this point, if you were with a group of people, you could have the group respond, receive the light. The eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light. The eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra and all of their abodes. Receive the light. The eye of Horus comes, and I am purified with it. Receive the light. And to further explain what I was doing, I was just bringing the candle around my head 4 times, and then finished the pass, offering the candle round to the gods. Let me tilt this so you can see them a little better. Here we are. I'm also going to offer, this is a terracotta lamp, which I picked up. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. I bought this at an Indian grocery store, and what's interesting is they're used in Hindu practice very similarly to how they were used in ancient Egyptian practice. And this is a little bit of ghee left in the bottom, which is clarified butter, left in the bottom of this. Let's see if we can get it to light. And I will be probably getting a new one for New Year's Day, because that's a traditional practice, is to offer new lamps for the new year. There we go. Well, okay, well, we're working on it. That's good. great and little needs of the gods, lords of Ma'at, united in Ma'at, great ones who reject wrongdoing, assemble before the Lord of all, and turn your faces toward us. Our hearts are straight, our hearts are open, no darkness is in our hearts. Now, this is a prayer for the blessed dead, the Aku, that was said on the evening of Mozid, and it comes from the coffin texts. So, in this case, what we would be doing, let's up this a little bit, is we're saying this prayer for the blessed dead. So when I say Aku, this is where you would be thinking of whoever you would wish to honor who has recently passed, or not so recently, but that still is very close to your heart. And the description that was given with the spell is, for letting a man have quiet by night, and everything customarily given him in the great Mozid festival and the Wag festival, which will be coming up in August. Lo, O Aku, sky and earth are open for you. The great gates are open for you. The gates of the people are thrown open for you. Geb, chiefest of the gods, has opened his jaws for you. Lo, Aku, the ram conducts you to his altars. Soped is keen for you. Lo, O Aku, they remove the dimness of your sight and the wrinkles on your limbs. They open your blind eyes and extend your curled fingers. Lo, O Aku, they open your mouths for you. Lo, O Aku, lift yourselves upon your left side. Place yourselves upon your right side. Lo, Aku, eat your portion, this pure bread which is given, the loaves of this great God in whose name is unknown. Lo, Aku, drink this pure water which issues from the table, for that ram has given to you what is his. Lo, Aku, Ptah south of his wall and Sokar have granted you an appearance in the Henu bark of Geb, chiefest of the gods. Lo, Aku, may you go forth by day and by night. May you eat bread and drink beer. May you receive the voice offerings that are yours. Come, O voice offerings. Come, O voice offerings. Come, O voice offerings. Come, O voice offerings. And now we pour water for the blessed dead. This is your cold water, O my Father. It's filtered. This is your cold water, O my Father. This is your cold water, O Osiris. Come to your son, come to Horus. See, I bring it to you that you may be glad of it. See, I bring the eye of Horus to you, that you may be glad of it. Whatever you tread under your sandals, I will be your guide for you. I will give you water at the Wag and Jehutet feasts. O sir, take unto yourself all those who speak ill of their names. Jehuti, go, take the enemies of these blessed dead, on behalf of Osir. Do not let loose of them. Beware not to let loose of them. Do not let loose of them. Beware not to let loose of them. Do not let loose of them. Beware not to let loose of them. Do not let loose of them. Beware not to let loose of them. There we go. Someone has gone to be with his Ka. Osiris has gone to be with his Ka. Set has gone to be with his Ka. Horus, looking forward, has gone to be with his Ka. And all of these are blessed dead, have gone to be with their Kas. At this point, I'll pause and we can think of those who have gone to be with their Kas. Come, ye blessed dead. Someone has come, and you shall not need. The Lady of the West has come, and you shall not need. Hathor has come, and you shall not need. Your purity is that of the gods who have gone, but not withdrawn from us. Raise yourself to this fresh water and to this incense that I have given you. You have been purified for the feast days, like the unwearying one of Abydos, which of course would be Osiris. Now this next prayer is not from a temple liturgy. This is actually from the tomb of a nobleman, but it's talking about voice offerings and why they are such a good thing. I say to you, I let you know, it is recital without expense. It does not make poor, it makes no trouble. It means no quarrel, no coercion. It is a pleasing speech that uplifts. The heart does not tire to hear it. The breath of the mouth is not eaten, there is no strain in it. It is good for you when you do it. You will find in it profit and praise. While I was in the land of the living, no sin against God was reproached me. Now I have become an Ak, my place made in the sacred land. I have what I need in all things. I shall not fail to respond. The blessed dead is father to he who acts for him. He forgets not those who make offerings. It is good for you to listen. And this is where we would give the voice offering, which is a tradition that ran the length of pharaonic history. I'll give it in English first and then in Egyptian. A voice offering of bread, beer, 1,000 of beef and poultry, incense and oil, and all good and pure things on which a God lives, for the cause of these blessed dead, true of voice before the great God. And ordinarily you would call them by name, but since we have so many of them to think of, call their names in your heart. Horekkeru ta henket ha kau afdu sinachur merhat hud nibet nafret wabet anket noshirim and kauen puachunibu maacheru kirnachura. And this last prayer comes from the pyramid texts. Lo, Aku, now I have cried for you, now I have mourned for you. I will not forget you. My heart will not tire of invoking you every day, with an offering at every festival, on the new moon, on the full moon, on the Jehutet, on the Wagi, the great burning, and the New Year's festival. You will be reborn with the new moon like the gods. Lo, O Aku, get dressed in your bodies and come to me. And at this point, we would take a minute to offer our own prayers. The Egyptians believed that the blessed dead would continue to guide us and help us from the afterworld, the Duat. And so they very often would ask for their loved ones to help them with various things. And since we're not done yet, I won't do the closing invocation, because first we have to say, Happy birthday to Horus. And as you'll notice, I'm actually going from Circle of the Sun. There's a lot of different rituals that are in this book. I use it as I go through the calendar year. The only difference is, in the book I have, for the invocations, Io Imhotep, which means come in peace. But another address that you can use is Inuj Herek, which means hail unto you, greetings to your face. Now, if you're going to say it to a female deity, then you would say Inuj Heres, because the feminine ending is S. So. In the Terracotta Lamp. Hail unto you, Horus, Ba of the East. In the Terracotta Lamp. Hail unto you, Horus, defender of his father. In the Terracotta Lamp. Hail unto you, Horus, greatest god. In the Terracotta Lamp. Hail unto you, Horus, Lord of the sky. Now, this day is usually attributed as the birthday of Horus, Horus, the elder Horus, but there was a lot of blending between the two in ancient times, and I, don't make the distinction between elder Horus and Horus at Horus, the son of Isis. So they can share the birthday. It's not a problem. And we've offered these cool waters, which are the inundation. These waters are the eye of Horus, that they may cool your hearts. We offer incense, great of purity, and I'll see if I can offer without putting out my lamp. Oh well, it did. But cinnamon was called tisheps in the Egyptian language, and this was also used as an offering at during the New Kingdom. And we have some offerings here. By the way, I do have a video coming up about offerings, and I talk about the use of traditional versus non-traditional offerings, but we'll get to that later. Take this, your bread on which gods live. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. Turn yourselves to these your offerings, and receive them from me. Now, another thing that would be done during the days on the year is they would read litanies to Sekhmet, because she protected Horus, and also because this was the time of year when her agents, her arrows, would be, is what they were called, would be running loose, and she was in charge of them, and so we'd pray to her to protect us from, her agents of destruction, enforcement, and other nasty things. Now, the version that I have here just says, the first arrow and the second arrow of the year. There's a version that I have, and I'll have to post it online, but it goes through, and I've given names for each of the arrows. One arrow is drought, one arrow is famine, one arrow is war, one arrow is terror, and so on. And that's one way that we can think of, the arrows, the 7 arrows of Sekhmet, as we pray during the days on the year. Hail, Sekhmet, who presides over the land, Lady of flourishing, generous one, Sekhmet, who protects the 2 lands. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, preserve us from the first arrow of the year. Hail, Sekhmet, O Curl, O hidden lady, Wajit the Great. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the second arrow of the year. Hail, Sekhmet, who moves in light, who terrifies the gods with her massacre. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the third arrow of the year. Hail, Sekhmet, who guides mankind, Lady of the dual shores, mistress of humanity, come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the fourth arrow of the year. Hail, Sekhmet, great shining one, foremost in the mansion of flame, who terrorizes the two lands with fear. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the fifth arrow of the year. Hail, Sekhmet, who loves Ma'at and hates Izfet, Lady of the people. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the sixth arrow of the year. Hail, Sekhmet, Uraeus, who opens the acacia, great and sovereign one. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the seventh arrow of the year. And at this point, I was asked if there were any hymns to Horus. There are some from the Temple of Edfu, but that's going to take work because the original publications are in French. And there are people who have been working on putting those into English and getting the Egyptian equivalents and an approximation, but that's going to take a lot of work. So in the meantime, we'll just offer prayers, and in my case, I would like to offer a prayer for health and well-being, Ankuja Seneb, life, well-being, and health for all of my viewers, and for the people and animals in my household, and for a prosperous Egyptian year, and for an end to the drought in California. They've been on the West Coast. They've really been suffering, but especially in California. I have a lot of friends out there, and I think about them when I read about this. So I hope that this drought comes to an end soon. And also, I'm sure a lot of you would join me in this prayer. Put a stop to this group that is being called ISIS. They have nothing to do with the true ISIS, with Aset, the goddess. She stands for love and gender equality and motherly affection and all of these good and positive things, and the group that Western media is calling ISIS and that people are now associating with the name, unfortunately, is they go against everything that the gods stand for. And so may Sekhmet have the power to crush them, because they are not bringing any good to the world. And also, there's a group actually on Facebook that is posting, they're going to do a day of protest and remembrance on July 31st. So go look for that on Facebook, a polytheistic day of protest and remembrance. They're going to be doing different things, and you can join in by doing something, on your own on that day. And I guess we're going to try and get as much of a group vibe going as we can. So there's still a lot of chaos in the world. There will always be, but we have to keep it in balance. Have to keep it in check. And so we pray to the gods so that they will have the strength to help us keep these things in check. So, in their names. Great and need of the gods who are in you new. Ra, in your appearance at the first time. Ra's twins, Shu and Tefnut. Geb and Nut, Lord of Earth and Lady of Heaven. Osir, Isa, Set, and Nebethat. We thank you, we praise you, and we wish you well. Remember us, be where you like, and come again in kindness. And see you guys again real soon. Senebti.